Hello, everyone. I'm David Briel. I'm the Deputy Secretary for International Business with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I look forward to working with Japanese companies, and I want to thank the Japan External Trade Organization for this opportunity to speak with you. I personally have a long history working with Japan. I've lived and worked in Japan for about 5 to 6 years, and I've worked with Japanese companies and Japanese organizations for decades. And we look forward to seeing you here so you can take advantage of opportunities in the North American market. Thank you very much. I'd like to give you some background on Pennsylvania and Japan and the long history of Japanese investment here in Pennsylvania. We were actually the home of the first Japanese company to invest in the United States post-war. And we since that point have had a lot of interaction with Japanese companies as they look to grow in the North American market. Pennsylvania is actually very strategically located. If you are here in Philadelphia, for example, you're about an hour and 20 minutes outside of New York. Philadelphia to New York may be similar to maybe Yokohama to Tokyo. We're also very close to Washington, D.C. And through most parts of Pennsylvania, you're very close to most of North America's largest markets. Um, Metropolitan New York, obviously, metropolitan Washington, D.C., Baltimore, you're very close to Boston. So for logistics, you couldn't find a better spot in North America. And because of this, we see a tremendous amount of manufacturing, particularly in distribution in Pennsylvania. It's too expensive to manufacture and distribute from New York, from Boston, from Washington. But Pennsylvania, being strategically located, is the place where many companies come to make physical goods and then ship them to that market. Our two largest cities are Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Right now, I'd like to give you a little background on Philadelphia. It's about, again, Philadelphia is about an hour from New York, hour and a half from New York. It's a very large center of biotech and pharmaceutical research and manufacturing. About 80% of the world's pharmaceutical companies have a presence in Philadelphia. It's also extremely well known for its medical schools and its startup scene in both certainly in the digital health arena, as well as areas such as medical device. And it's also the home of the cell and gene therapy market in North America. Um, as you can see, Philadelphia is quite the center of R&D research, given its universities. And I'll touch on the universities a little bit later. But because of its location and its strong university background, Philadelphia is exceptionally strong in healthcare and related industries. Pittsburgh is very strong in certainly in software engineering. It's extremely strong in again in medical device development, regenerative medicine. Much of this is due to the presence of Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh region is also home to one of Google's largest campuses. We've seen Uber has its test track there, a lot of development of autonomous vehicles. There's quite a lot of robotics research there as well, and a lot of interactive relationships with Japan, given its strength in robotics. That much of which, obviously, Japan also being a strength, has led to that interaction. A little bit of background about Pennsylvania itself in terms of the economy. If Pennsylvania were an independent country, it would be the 18th largest economy in the world. Meaning, as a single entity itself, it's a G20 country. I mean, obviously, it's nowhere as big as Japan. Japan being the world's third largest economy. But Pennsylvania on its own is bigger than Saudi Arabia or Taiwan or the Philippines. So again, that just shows you the breadth of what's available in Pennsylvania. And again, New York is next door, Massachusetts, Boston's nearby, Washington is nearby as well. So by coming here, you access all that market. Pennsylvania's imports and exports to Japan, as you can see, it's about it's over more than $3.5 billion a year go back and forth between Pennsylvania and Japan. Now, I won't read these off to you, but you can. This is Pennsylvania's top 5 exports to Japan last year. Again, about $1.6 billion a year is exported from Pennsylvania to Japan, and in reverse, over $2 billion a year comes from Japan into Pennsylvania. And again, pharmaceuticals being the number one product, given the strength of the pharmaceutical market here. Japanese companies, again, we have a very long history of working in Pennsylvania. So there's actually about 135 companies in Japan, of which there's 407 locations. Some of them have multiple locations, obviously. And they employ more than 20,000 people here. So Japan has always been in our top 5 investors. Been number 5 for the number of firms, but number 4 actually in the number of employees. When I say 5 and 4, that means 5 being among the 50 American states, Pennsylvania is the 5th largest. Again, among the 50 American states, for a number of employees, Pennsylvania is the 4th largest. So you can see this has been Pennsylvania has been a considerable nexus for Japanese investment for many years, given our location and our relatively low cost of doing business in the midst of North America's largest market. Here's just some of the larger companies that have invested in Pennsylvania from Japan. Olympus has its headquarters here. Ebara has a very large manufacturing presence. The Japanese companies who are here follow pretty much the strengths of this market. The biggest industries being things like industrial machinery, be it Ebara, be it things food, obviously, Nissin or Meiji Seika, be it things plastics, another very large industry here. We have Sekisui Kydex, which is has manufactured for decades here in Pennsylvania. Olympus does research on medical device. Roto and Fujirebio are both diagnostics and pharma companies. Tokyo Marine, sort of fintech world. Asahi Glass Chemicals in the chemical space. So all that Japanese investments taking advantage of what's naturally here. And we see an increasingly large international profile in our investments makeup of Pennsylvania. Not only Japan, but we see tremendous investment in many of these areas from Germany, from the UK. Certainly, we see more and more from India. The numbers are growing as companies look to localize supply chain, particularly given the challenges of the pandemic. Looking at sort of the industry strengths of Pennsylvania, certainly our largest overall is food production, and and the industrial machinery it takes to make food, I should say, as well as production of certain products, food products, mushrooms being our largest single industry. And again, these numbers, when it says first, second, that's among the 50 American states. We're number 1 in mushroom production, number 5 in food processing in the US. This is why you have companies like Nissin manufactures cup noodles here, or Meiji Seika to snack food and such. We certainly would welcome more Japanese companies to take advantage of the situation. We have, again, that proximity to the consumers of Northeast US and Southern Canada being nearby has created this market for food companies to set up and access all those consumers. The second thing, Pennsylvania has always been one of the largest manufacturing states in the US overall. Metals, machinery, chemicals, plastics being our leading industries. Pennsylvania is always top 10 in all things manufacturing. And because of that, we have a very strong workforce and a lot of universities that sort of tap into that by creating the talent needed to manufacture, giving people the skills of learning the basics of manufacturing to help companies get a jump start here. Getting back to life sciences, we've always been strong in drug and pharma. Again, there's a lot of university research. We're very strong in National Institute of Health funding, venture capital investments. We're number 4 in bioscience VC investments. So it's a good place for Japanese companies to come start their US business and grow. Um, again, the universities put a lot of talent. You'll find tremendous workforce and connectivity with universities, should it be on things like sponsored research, um, clinical trials. The hospitals here are top notch. So, and we can certainly work to introduce you to opportunities in this industry. Pennsylvania, because of all these factors, we've always been a top state for technology and innovation. Um, the economic impact is quite large here. Our net tech investment is among the top in the U.S. So we'd certainly look to introduce Japanese companies to that industry across the tech and innovation world, and introduce you to people that can help you get started in the U.S. Just again about the two big cities in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, a lot going on there, a lot of federal research dollars coming in, but some of the smaller cities as well, be it Erie or Scranton, they all have their focus. I wanted to give the example here of Erie, which has a particular strength is with smart city technologies, great place to do a pilot, as well as cybersecurity being a strength. Certainly, it's a big strength in Pittsburgh, but there's some smaller cities as well that have have knowledge that can help you get started near big markets, but at a cheaper rate. Again, at your burn rate being much cheaper in some of the smaller cities in Pennsylvania. And we would certainly introduce you to opportunities across Pennsylvania, not just in our largest cities. Much of the strength here is based on the connections coming from universities. The University of Pennsylvania, obviously well known, an Ivy League school, probably most well known in Japan for the Wharton School, which it was always one of the world's, or certainly the U.S.'s top business school. Carnegie Mellon, particular strengths in cybersecurity, robotics. America's top software engineering school. Other schools, certainly Lehigh being another top engineering school, Drexel, Temple University, of course, with its connectivity to Japan, has always um, rated among the top public universities in the United States. University of Pittsburgh, a leader in sort of medical transplant technology, as well as another strong engineering, a strong engineering school in Western Pennsylvania. Same with Penn State. Pennsylvania College of Technology is a great practical, teaches students practical skills. Great place to build up a plastics workforce. Very strong in sort of the natural gas related fields as well. Again, when you're here, when you come here, we can introduce you to the people at these universities to help you find talent and to talk to the people who are developing the minds that will help to fuel your business as you move forward, and build a North American business. Pennsylvania is always in the top 5 for STEM graduates, for STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, and math. When you need those skills, Pennsylvania is the place you should certainly look. And despite all that skill and that proximity, Pennsylvania is still a relatively low cost. Um, in the Northeast US, certainly compared to New York, compared to New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania is going to offer you an extremely good value for your dollar as you grow your North American business. I mean, unless you're looking at some very specific reason that you need to be in like a metro New York, it doesn't make sense for a Japanese company to start there. It'd be better to be here, be very close proximity. You can get there in a short amount of time, be it by driving or on the train, get into these places, DC, New York, but you can then come home to a much more reasonable cost of living and the talent that will help your business grow. Now, Pennsylvania, we as state government look forward, to working with you, and we offer sort of a concierge service that will allow Japanese companies the basics of sort of meeting people, meeting suppliers, meeting potential partners. We know right now, obviously, we're doing it virtually, but when the world reopens again, we look forward to welcoming you here and introducing you to companies and people that can help you get your US name, your products for the US market up and running. We've been doing this for a lot of years. We've worked with quite a number of Japanese companies. Um, it'll really help you to learn about the North American market before you make that major investment of setting up here. And we will do things like help you to decide, help you to learn like what kind of entity you want to set up. Do you want a C corp, an S corp, an LLC, a corporation? We will help you look for sites or the exact spot you want to locate. To give you the explanations of, do you want to lease, do you want to buy? Um, the labor rates. How much does it cost to hire a mechanical engineer in Scranton, Pennsylvania versus, in Virginia or California or New York or wherever. I think these are things that these sort of concrete data are things that we can add that can really help you and help your bottom line, because it is quite an investment of time and money to set up in North America. And this will help you to maximize that, your investment to help you succeed. And one thing we do that I think is a unique piece compared to most states for companies that don't necessarily have the finances or the interest right now in investing, sort of building a building somewhere in the US. We help you find a joint venture partner. We will work if you sort of describe your optimal partner and what you're looking to do, maybe be it contract manufacturing. We will help you find that company here to help you sort of step by step get set up in North America. We're one of a few states that offer this program, to find you just a partner to get started, sort of a small scale that allows you step by step to build up your US business without having to jump in, a few $1,000,000 that jump in with this massive investment from the beginning. This allows you to slowly ramp up and access the US market. So that's something that we'd certainly look forward to working with Japanese companies on. Just to share a little bit about, once you're here, we can also help you in other markets. If you set up a facility here in Pennsylvania, we will help you with free of charge to access the Canadian market, the Mexican market. You can also look at Europe. We have a network of contractors around the world who are there to assist you as you look at other markets. So if you're looking for an agent distributor in Canada, they will help to find that for you. If you're looking for end users in Mexico, they will help find that for you. Again, we have one of the larger networks of all American states to help you not only grow here, but to grow your business here by growing it worldwide. If you have specific questions, we do have an office in Tokyo that can assist you. Under our director, Satoshi Takayama, he is in Tokyo and he is there to work with Japanese companies at his office. There is a team that's there to help Japanese companies. Sort of shows the importance of the Japanese market to Pennsylvania, that we have this office in Japan specifically to work with you in Japanese in your own time zone, to look at opportunities in the US and to be able to research. And if you're looking just for the basics at the beginning, working with Takayama-san, we could certainly help to build a case of why Pennsylvania versus other locations in North America. And I think that gives us a sort of competitive advantage over many locations here. So that's something I highly recommend that you take advantage of. Finally, here's my contact data. I'd certainly look forward to hearing from you. We could certainly work through our office in Japan, but you can also contact me directly and we can help you get started. Please contact me anytime. I look forward to working with you. And at any time, we are, we're certainly working to, it's our goal to bring more international companies here. We generally work with about, 100 companies a year who physically come here for sites, probably about 10 to 12 Japanese companies every year. But we would certainly, look forward to seeing you here in Pennsylvania on your next visit to North America. I think you'll like what you see. So thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.